Hey everybody. Um, the dock workers in the United States are, especially on the Gulf Coast and the East Coast, are going on strike. And I just thought I'd give a little perspective on what I think and what I see that's going on in the whole equation. I know that there are probably many videos out there, people that talk about maybe what their views are, and I'm sure that a lot of those are accurate, but I've been a truck driver inside of the ports, especially in Houston, going in and out, for years. Um, I've also worked on the docks as a longshoreman, which is something I do now, and we're expecting to go on strike. So, as being a truck driver, being in the ports and being on the side of the docks where you're working on the cranes and you're working in the trucks on the dock, the mule trucks and so forth. Now, I got a different perspective. I got a lot of respect for the longshoremen. They do uh, hard work. It's not as hard as it used to be when you had to go down to the dock and go to the hiring hall, get early in the morning, go to the hiring hall, get hired. The old way of doing things, hands on, where you have to throw sacks, you know, um, rice sacks, coffee, get to deal with raw cowhides. You can work on freezer boats and things like that. Grain boats with grain would just pour into the ship. You'd have to be masked up because all this stuff is flying everywhere. Flower boats, um, rail cars, and things of that nature. All that stuff is a thing of the past. So everything is done now. Uh, it's containerized, and there are many guys that work at the port that went down there as young people. I went down there when I was 20, maybe 18, and started working on the docks. I was in college and everything, and I ended up being in the trucking industry because it won out over the ports because of the work was so labor intense down there. That was in my mind, you know, like, man, I can't work this hard all my life. But as things went on, I'm gonna get calls from people that would say, "Hey, man, this has gotten easier now. It's containerized. Come on back." So I always kept my foot in to keep my seniority in place where I could have a place to go if I wanted to go back down there. So that's what I do now. But they got a strike coming up, and it's going to affect the truck drivers, um, obviously, especially the ones who pull containers in and out of the ports and they work in and around those areas. Nothing's going to come out of the port. Nothing's going to come out of the port. This is one of those strikes that doesn't happen every day. I think the last strike was in 1977 or something like that. It lasted quite a few days. I think it was 40 something days. 46 days or 45 days or something like that, 47. I'm not sure. You can fact check me on that. And of course, um, I've got I've got the information to fact check it right here. I'll do that. But there are videos out there of people that really know the economy and how things work. If this strike lasts one day, it won't hurt us that much. But if it goes in one day, day one, day two, day three, day four, day five, you know, everything comes to those ports. We ship out and we ship in all types of commodities. We ship out oil, gas, car parts, food, all kinds of items that go through those ports. So it could really damage our economy. And I know we're busy people, and we're so busy taking care of our kids and our families and things of that nature. We don't really think it's important. It really is. It really is important. There's some videos out there that are much better than this one. But I'm telling you that truck drivers probably not going to be on strike, but they may as well go on strike right now because nothing's coming out of here. Nothing's coming out of here. Nothing's going to come out of the port. You're talking about 85,000 men and women are going to stop. So they're not asking for much uh, when you think about what these container companies have done. I mean, these shipping companies have made billions of dollars. If you realize on the COVID for 2 years, everybody was shut down. And most of the corporations, the big corporations, were open. You could go to them. I mean, you go to Walmart, you go to Home Depot, you go to Lowe's. I mean, you can go if it was a big box store, they were open, but they were trying to shut down all the little men, all the little people. That's what they were trying to do. So you understand that all the merchandise that went to those big box stores was coming in through those ports. And so those dock workers, those longshoremen, were working for those 2 years to supply those big box stores, those big conglomerates. They never stopped working. So people were dying on the docks. People were getting sick. Yeah, of course, they were still working. Everybody else was shut down, but at the same time, they had to do some sacrificing to go out there and work. They had to be around other people. They were talking about 6 foot apart, everybody else in the world, but these people were going to work. But while that was happening, those shipping those shipping companies were making billions of dollars in profit. They weren't sharing that with those dock workers. Now these dock workers, longshoremen, they have to be certified. Everything is certified. Now it's not like in the good old days when you just got your driver license, your social security card, you went down to the hall and you just got on the line. Hey, give me a job, give me a job. And you went to work. You know, you went to work. You had black workers, you had white workers, you had Hispanic workers. But as time went and elevated, uh, uh, evolution in time, that the black hall merged with the white hall, and of course that's mixed up with Hispanics and everybody else. And then they went to a new hall, and all of them gathered in that hall. And just like the Checkers and the other union halls too, that the warehouse work, all these halls have evolved. And so now everybody has to be certified. Back then, you didn't have to be certified. You have to be certified on the equipment. You have to now have a TWIC card to get in those gates. Um, um, these guys also work with the cruise lines. They're the ones that are the bag men that 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 carry the bags for the customers that are getting on the cruise lines. Those are dock workers, maritime associated workers. The guys who drive the forklifts, who load, excuse me, who load the ships. Those are dock workers, longshoremen. So those jobs are connected. Those jobs won't be there for the strike, as far as I know. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. This is just this video is for information only, entertainment only as well. So let me know if I'm wrong about that. All this is connected. So so these dock workers, longshoremen, they cover all the work on a ship. When that ship rolls in, it's not all the work on the ship. There's some jobs that are done that are based along with the ports, and they have warehouses and they have people that bring the ship in and dock it. But once it docks, then you have dock workers that are assigned for all the jobs on that ship. You got lashers. I mean, you got men that'll go up on the ship and break down those containers so that the crane operators can go up and grab them or pull them off. You got the truck drivers on the ground that are going to work. Now those lashes up there, they got a job to do. They got to be quick. They got to unbuckle and untie and be safe and not hurt themselves, not fall off the side of the ship. All kinds of hazards up there. That's not one of the jobs that I do, uh, but that's one job. You got the people down underneath the crane that work the whip, and they put these these dogs on these boxes, on these containers. They flag the truck drivers. It's really a coordinated chaos. You could easily get hurt or get killed down there if you're not paying attention. And so, these guys have a very important role they play. You got the formers, you got the walking formers, all this circus that's going on and coordination that's going on down there daily, daily. And so these men sacrificed 2 years under COVID going down there to work, going down there to work, you know, and these corporations, these global corporations, were making billions of dollars. They didn't share that in the wealth. They didn't share that. with those unions, with those locals. So now I think it's only fair that the dock workers strike because they coming to the table to negotiate. They want a piece of that action. Wouldn't you want a piece of that action? But on the other hand, is that if you look at videos on docks in China, they're fully automated. Some of them are fully automated. You can just watch. They have some people that work there, but those machines are running on their own. They run on their own. Just go online and look them up. And so this is what these uh, people want. USMX. They want automation. They want to stomp all those 85,000 jobs out. You know, machines don't feed families. People do. And so if they stomp out all those drivers, it's not only not the drivers, but those dock workers. It's not just the dock workers that are going to be affected. It's everything around those docks. There's cities around those docks, gas stations, restaurants, all kinds of things, man. They got all companies right here in Houston, in the port area. They have refineries and all types of things. They have things that go out on container ships. They have oil refineries. They have ships that come in and pick up crude oil or natural gas. All these different entities. But of course, automation is already touching us with the ships. Some of the ships are already automated. We know about that in Baltimore, where that ship ran into that bridge. That ship was partially automated as well. So, automation is from trucking to planes to shipping. And so these people want to be automated. They want to be automated. They're pushing real hard. And I'm sure that they've had opportunities to capitalize on some of the money because the Fed just dropped the interest rate. So that's free money for them. I mean, it's accessible to them, but it's not that accessible to us. The Fed prints it for zero, and you go and apply for it. They can tell you whether you qualify for something they print it for zero. More than likely, you won't qualify, or I won't qualify, but they're going to qualify. Most of those multinationals, they're going to qualify. They're going to get their free money. They're going to invest. They want to invest in that automation. They've already been stacking up because obviously this hasn't been on the news. Nobody's been pre-warned that this is going to happen. That would have been nice for them to tell us that it's been coming, and they may have said it on the news, but we're busy people out here. We're trying to take care of our families and pay bills. We don't have time to follow everything. They may have said it, but we probably just didn't know how serious it was, and it may not be that serious. But this is just maybe my point of view being a trucker. Because when I was a trucker, I would go into the ports. And I see a lot of the people that I used to work with as a longshoreman, driving, working for a local company, picking up containers. For instance, I work for one of the local companies that's pretty popular in Houston, and I'm not gonna name a name, but they have the only trucks that I've seen that can actually go into the port and pull their own containers out with their own mule trucks, and they have warehouses all around the port area. If you're a truck driver, you already know who I'm talking about. I worked for them for 5 years, and what I would do with them is that um, they have people that are designated just to go in and out of the port with their own chassis, driving their own mule trucks, and they'll take empties in and they'll bring loads out, and they have yards nearby where they'll park those loaded trailers. When drivers come off the road to empty that night or whatever during the day, they would go to that yard, whatever yard they designated to go to. They would drop their empty, and they would already have a number for their next run, and they would pick that next trailer up on that yard, load it up, take it to wherever they park their trucks at. They'd be ready for the next day. And that guy who's going in and out, he's probably working for the company locally, been paid by the hour. I was a contractor, but he would go in and out all day long, picking up empties, dropping empties, picking up loads, dropping them on that empty yard. Pick up that empty that I brought in, take it back and drop it inside the port. Pick up an empty or back on that chassis. You come get it, and the cycle will just continue on and on. And what a system! What a system! But that process is going to be interrupted, you know, because now if you don't have all your containers out how many containers can you put on one yard that you can get out before the strike starts? And deliver those. You still can deliver those, but you're not going to be able to bring anything out. You're going to pack your yard up with empty containers or loads, whatever the case may be. So, that's the kind of the way the trucking industry works. Most trucking companies don't have that convenience. If you work or you're independent, maybe you have your own contract, with a stevedore, and you go in and out, you know, and you'd have to go and get your own trailer out of there, do everything that this company is doing. And a lot of times you're going to get a chassis out of that yard. Then you're going to have to get that chassis repaired. There's going to be a light missing. There's going to be a grommet missing, a tire flat. And they got people in that inside that you have to get that trailer repaired before you can get out on the street. Because right when you get out on the street, and when you get on that main road, you got police waiting to stop you. And they will stop you and pull you over, and give you a ticket for just that thing that you didn't get fixed on the inside. So, there's a lot of little, things going on. So I did that for years, I know how that goes. But this company I worked for, they had bought new chassis, so they had new tires, new chassis, and all the lights in the back were fixed. And if there wasn't a case that you did have a problem, you could get a supply and keep in your truck. So you get there early in the morning, it's maybe midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. You get there in the trailer that needs a rear lens, well, you can look in your side box because they get you got a little supply in your truck. That what was good about them. They give you a little supply, and you keep those that supply of lenses. You can replace it yourself instead of waiting for some guy, a repair guy, to come bring it and fix it, which is going to slow you down on your run. You need to be down the road, getting where you got to go, so you can empty that trailer out, turn around, get back, and do another load by the end of the week. You know, depending on where you're local, depending on where you going down to, you know, 300 miles down the road or whatever, 500 miles. But you know, that right there is really a lot of how uh, these container yards work. Now, if you work inside of the container yard and you're a mule truck driver, which I do, is that you get hired at the dock. That mule truck isn't yours. It belongs to whatever company is working, whatever company you're working for that day. And they have a few companies that you work for, and that's their responsibility to keep up that equipment. You use all their equipment. At the end of the day, you just shut the door and you go home. You park it, you go home, and you don't have to look back at it. You know, and most of those containers coming off the ship, they're going to a pad, and they're going to be dropping that on a pad. You're going to be picking up an empty. You got a checker who's telling you to go to know all your moves and where you're going to be going inside of that port. And you kind of be you got to be familiar with it because he tells you to go somewhere, you got to go there. And if you're not, you just getting there. You got to find out from somebody else who knows and stop them. Hey man, where's this at? Where's this at? And then you get familiar when you do it every day. But like I said, all these jobs are they are coordinated real well, and it's all that's going to break down. Of course, if they go on strike, um, that's not going to break down. That's just they know what to do whenever the strike starts back up. It's just going to create a backlog, and it's going to take a while to catch up. But you can always look for prices to go up. Let it be a week. Let it be a week. You'll start seeing prices go up. Now prices are already high. My wife and I were in the store the other day and I bought some eggs. They were $5. I said, we're not buying those. We're gonna go somewhere else and look for some eggs. We're not buying those, but you can look for the prices to go up. Gasoline, you know what I'm saying? Anything that you buy that comes on a truck, the price is gonna go up. And I'm gonna leave you with this. I was looking at a video about the Great Depression, and during the Great Depression, it happened in 1929 in October. We're in October right now, and the stock market during that month was an all-time high. Everybody was doing that thing, man. Everybody was just living life. People were partying, going to party. People buying cars, buying houses, and that thing one day that stock market just went down. Boom. It just went down. I think it was October the 20th, 24th, or 27th, or something like that in 1929. That was a Great Depression. That was the Great Depression. And I understand here tell that it was manufactured by guess who? Whoever those people are pulling the strings. They always they always stacking up, stacking up, stacking up. Stock market's doing pretty good now. Money is flowing. The Fed just dropped the interest rate. What can I say? You know, if they're saving and putting up and you're not, and these two entities are not going, they're not sitting at the table talking right now. You know, the USMX and the dock workers, they're not talking, they're not going to the table right now. Well, who's got the most money to wait? Who can play the waiting game the most? I believe it's the shipping company, because I believe that in my whole heart that this is something that has been coming down the pike that just we didn't know about. They may have understood that it was coming, but we didn't necessarily. Everybody didn't necessarily know this was going to happen. If you knew, the Bible talks about, if you knew when a thief was going to come, you'd be ready. But it's going to come in the night when you're not prepared. So prepare, for this strike. Get you some things, stock up on some things. I'm just giving you my point of view. This is not financial advice. This is just for entertainment only. And I hope it helps somebody. I know it helps me. Just think through this stuff. And man, this channel it does a lot of things. Still trying to find my way. But hey, I'm talking about what I think I know about. But anyway, like and share this video. Maybe somebody else can hear it if you subscribe and like this video. This is the working man, and I hope it helps you. God bless you. You guys have a great day.